going to be sharing with you in this video the real way to overcome your fears. And as a result, stop living the same life where you're kind of on loop and you're doing the same thing over and over, expecting something to change. I'm going to share with you how to do that in this video so that you can become the person that you really want to be. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, all the details for that will be down below. Now, what I want to start off this video with is the understanding that actually fear in of itself is not actually real. It's not actually real. It's just a feeling. That's really all that it is. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling, but it has nothing really to do with the actual reality that is happening. And so the most important thing to consider here is that, are you going to allow a feeling to define who you are and to define your life? Are you going to allow a feeling to define your identity? Right? Because most people, they base their life on fleeting feelings, right? Feelings like fear, they come and they go. But what happens is that when you define yourself to be something, what happens is that your life stops becoming defined. The definition of who you actually are stops being defined by this fleeting feeling and this emotion. It's just an emotion, it's a feeling. So that's what I want you to understand to start off this video, is that actually fear is not real. It's not real. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you in this video is the understanding that your mind, your attention is is your power. It's your power. It's actually, you'd be shocked to realize that I really believe that one of the most important things in life that we need to value, that most people won't consider, they really won't consider it because they will, I don't know, there's many things that can happen in life where we dismiss the importance of our mind. But one of the things that I personally believe is that my mind and my attention is my highest currency. It's the most important asset that I have. Now, of course, I value things like money and having a physical space and having family and support systems, whatever those may be. But think about it. If you're not healthy, if you're not sane in your mind, if you're not grounded, if you don't know who you are and how you show up in the world, if you don't have integrity, what do you really have? Like all these things like money and having, the types of experiences that you want and all these different things, all these things can really only happen when you start to take control of your mind. So one thing that I really believe is that taking control of your mind is one of the most important things. Now, of course, in the spiritual community, they talk about like being present to the moment and, stay present and be present. And that's fine. I'm not dismissing any of that. I encourage you to read things like Eckhart Tolle, right? If you're into that, or any kind of spiritual teaching that brings you to the present moment. But one thing that I think that a lot of people simply dismiss out of their life is the importance that actually, when you're present, the goal of being present, in my personal opinion, is to start to take control over the mind. Because in my personal experience, what happens when you experience lots of chaos, lots of, you could say it's negativity if you want to use that word. Not that, I'm not saying that there is not truly negative and dark experiences, but I personally like to reframe challenges and negativity as just stepping stones to more of who I want to become, right? So I reframe any challenge, any negativity as just something that, that's there, I see it, but I'm not gonna allow that I'm gonna do my best to reframe that in a better way so that I can become more of who I prefer to be. Now, of course, one thing that I think is really important that I think a lot of people don't consider is that actually it's really, really important to have this understanding that when you start to become that person that you want to be, what happens is that I see that the most important thing to consider is that what I really want to be in this life is only going to happen when I ignore the negative energy and the fear and the resistance, and I simply see that, this negative energy, this resistance is just my past. It doesn't have to define my identity. It doesn't have to define who I really am. None of these things have to be the basis of who you are, unless of course you allow it to. So these chaotic and sort of negative, you could say, types of experiences usually only have control over our life when we are attached to them, when we believe that it's so important to keep focusing on it. But oftentimes the more that we focus on it, the more that we give it attention, and the more that we give it our attention, the more that we give it our energy, and the more that we give it our energy, the more that we lose our highest value, which is our connection to having a sane and grounded mind. Look, I don't know how it is personally for other people. Like, I know that this is going to maybe be a little bit debatable. I know that a lot of people in the spiritual community talk about like shut off the mind, shut off the, stop thinking. Look, I don't know how it is for you personally. I don't know how it is for other people because I can't truly I don't know what other people's experiences is like. I don't really know. We can't really know. All I can do is speak for myself. And personally for me, yes, I do believe that being present to the moment is incredibly important. But I think that the ultimate goal, as I was saying earlier, which I never finished point, I think the ultimate goal of being present, and I think that being present is great. I'm only saying it in that way because I think the ultimate goal is to ultimately learn how to use the mind as the tool that it truly is. To use the mind as a tool, because the mind is just a tool. Anything in life is just a tool. That's all it is. And oftentimes what I believe is that we start to give away our power and we believe that the tools are the things to blame. Like, oh, this thing in my life made me feel bad, or this thing in my life resulted in a negative experience, or this thing and this thing. But ultimately what's happening is that all that we've done most of the times, of course this is general information here, there's exceptions to this. I'm speaking quite generally here, so of course there's exceptions, and this is a very, once again, a general thing. But what I'm trying to say is that these tools are misused oftentimes, and then we blame the tool. So it's like we misuse our own minds, we let our mind pull us in all these different directions, and then we blame the mind. We blame the mind. We say, oh, this person made me have this negative experience. This thing generated negativity for me, or whatever it is, right? I'm speaking general here because anything that is associated with life itself, and of course everything, this could literally apply to anything, is going to be a result of misuse of your own mind. That's what I believe. So this is why I believe that our mind and our attention is our true power, and that we need to start to take our power back and see that our power and our currency, and you could even say that in a lot of ways, that even how much money we make is usually a result, not always, but usually a result of just all of our attention. Like we've forgotten that our highest currency is our sanity. Is our sanity and our mind, and how we use our mind, and how much momentum we have in a particular direction. This is why I personally take it upon myself to live as much as I can in integrity. So if I set upon some vision, if I set upon some goal, if I set upon some kind of direction, I tell myself, you know what I tell myself? I always do what I say. Worst case scenario is that I go into that space and I learn something, I learn a lesson, and I learn that, you know what, I didn't like that. But the most important thing for me is follow through. Follow through. So if I say I'm going to do something, if I say I'm going to create something, I do it. And of course, if I start to feel really dense and heavy along the way, and I feel like I'm working too hard, I'm going to balance myself out, and I'm going to make sure to honor how I feel. And it's a balancing act, right? Because sometimes you got to say, you know what, how I feel doesn't matter. I told myself I was going to do this and do it. And then you build momentum and you start to feel a lot better. Other times you're pushing a little bit too hard, and you do have to trust your feelings and just revisit it. Doesn't mean you're going to stop doing it. Doesn't mean you're going to completely stop, but you got to revisit it, and you got to come back to it from a fresh, clear energy. And so when you get too attached to the thing because you think you want the thing, and of course the thing is what you want as well. I'm not saying you don't want the thing, but if you're too attached and you think that you don't value your sanity more than getting that thing, then you're going to lose yourself in the thing. And I might sound contradictory. You might be like, dude, you sound like Francis, like you're contradicting yourself. It's like, because the reason why it sounds like that, and is because life is the ultimate balancing act. It's the ultimate balancing act where what happens is that you need to balance both knowing where you're going and also the understanding that actually life is a continual, it's sort of like this process of you're always on the way to something no matter what. If you want to be a sane human, again, I don't know how it is for other people, I'm speaking for myself. If I realize personally that if I want to be a sane human, I always have to be in the direction of something. I need to keep moving forward. I need to keep becoming something. I need to always create, give more, produce more for myself and for the world, because like it's a win-win, right? The more that I create for the world, the more that I'm going to win, because I'm going to receive so much back. And it's win. But at the same time though, also at the same time, the present moment is the only moment that exists. So with this being said, how do you balance these two? Well, that's going to probably be something that I need to record a whole nother video on. But what I do want to share though is that your mind and your attention is your true power. And it's what you always want to be honoring in the process of your life, in my personal opinion. Now, what I want to conclude this video with is that what you want to understand as well is that I want to actually just ask you a question. I want to ask you a question, which is that what do you truly value? What do you value? I believe that one of the biggest reasons that fear controls people, and that fear controls people's life, and that they're at the grip of the fear, and I'm going to conclude this video in a moment here, it's just going to be the final thing. I want you to sit with this question. I want you to sit with this question to really integrate this video at its full effect, which is the understanding that, you know, it's not really understanding, it's just the question, what do you truly value? What do you truly value? What is your top value in your life? What do you care about most? What do you care about most? Do you care about money the most? Do you care about a relationship? And look, I'm not even going to sit here and tell you what to value. I'm just going to ask you what you value, and I'm going to ask you to contemplate that for yourself, because most people don't know what they value. They just don't know what they value. They don't know what they value. They don't know. And if you don't know what you value, in my personal experience, you're going to be at the grip of fear of itself. Fear is going to have you in its grip, because you're going to instead of using the mind to be this powerful manifestation tool to go towards more of what you truly value, instead of what's going to happen is that you're not going to know what you value, and the fear will grip you, and it will keep you stuck. It will keep you stuck in your life. And I think that absolutely, you know, in my personal opinion, a lot of people talk about in the spiritual community, like, accept the present moment, accept the moment as it is. And I truly believe that accepting the present moment is very important. But I also believe that accepting the present moment can be completely misunderstood, and it can be misinterpreted for allowing yourself to stay stuck in an energy and in an emotion that truly does not resonate with the heart, to stay stuck there. And I believe that that is usually a result of misaligned action and not understanding what you truly value. and dedicating all your consciousness and your attention and your energy towards that direction, where then actually you have so much momentum and you know so much about who you want to be that you stop allowing fear to control you. Simply through the momentum and action of being who you want to be, fear in of itself stops controlling you. So that's what I want to ask you to conclude this video, is what do you truly value? What do you truly care about? And just to sit with that, because I believe that if you get clear on that, what's going to start to happen is that fear will control you less, and you'll begin to become more of who you prefer to be. So with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, I recently just launched email coaching. I also have a few spots left for my one-on-one coaching program. If you do feel called and you do feel like you're a good fit for that, all the details for that coaching program and also as well as the email coaching will be down below. And you can click on that to see if you resonate with it and if it's something that you believe will support you in your life. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.